Welcome back to a late night episode of Who Should You Choose, the video series where I go through the prior videos, questions, and comments and help you with your HUD lineup decisions. I want to talk since the last episode about the new XP path and the collectibles in the market as a whole. So if you watch my latest No Money Spent video, I kind of touch on this a little bit, but after digging into the market, they have all but demolished the price of cards essentially. So what ended up happening was because every single event or every few events they just plus one to whatever it is. So you had 91s as the trade in, and then you had now you have 92s, and the barrier of entry now for this event is 88s, for example, makes everything below it like just basically bare minimum, right? So I went and looked, and 86s and 87s were going for like 2,000 coins a piece. And I thought that was interesting because when it comes to the collectibles that you can earn throughout the XP path, you're able to choose whatever set you want, whatever pack you want. And for the most part throughout the year, the 87 and above choice pack or whatever the highest choice pack was cost you about 10 collectibles was usually the safest route. Again, I'm very risk adverse when recommending to you guys what ones you should do. And just by doing the math, I don't know why, and I could only assume it's because the very first auction house threshold, there's a objective to complete that is based on trading or buying 5 items from the auction house. And I don't know if that's keeping it up or if it's quick sell values or what it is, but the cheapest any card on the auction house is like 1,200 coins. So 78 overall silvers, 84 overall golds, all of it is like 1,200 coins. And I thought that was interesting because if you go and look at the 5x78 overall pack for 3 collectible sets, or three collectibles, sorry, I did that and I packed 187, which whatever, I don't even care. But all the other cards that were 78 and above that were like either 80 overall base card or 78 overall silver card instantly sold for 1,200 coins. So if people are going to buy those, I would recommend just doing that set, selling the cards, making the 5,000 coins or whatever it is, because for the same price as doing the 87 choice pack, you essentially have to pull a 92 or a 91, which I think goes for like 20,000 coins. You basically have to pull something like that, or it's just not worth it at all. So you get 15,000 coins essentially for getting 3 of those sets. Again, the math is a little off there, but just what I would recommend, and mess around. Maybe take a look, or in the comment section, let me know what's worked out well for you. But that's what I'm doing for the rest of it because, for example, something came out today, the team builder packs, which I've been waiting for. The team builder packs, guys, this year is so weird because when has a pack ever been really worth it other than Pack Apocalypse or the Maple Leaf packs from last year, right? The team builder packs have always been worth it. Like, I bought enough to get Trevor Linden again so that I could get Brent Burns, and it basically cost you, if you wanted to just straight up, you didn't have any team builder, right? Let's say you didn't even have 192, you just had 0. It's like just under 400,000 coins to just buy Brent Burns, which, I guess is pretty steep, but that Brent Burns card is so good. If you don't have, even if you have Pareko or other 99s, like, it's just so much better than a lot of the other options that, like, go ahead and do that. So I just wanted to bring that up. I thought it was interesting when it comes to the market and kind of the XP sets that I'd recommend doing for season 6. So let me know again what you guys think of the next episode in the comments in this video, and we'll touch on it in the next one. So let's go over. It's been a few days, so let's start at the top. Bolts Nation says, I sold Team of the Season Zane Parek for 750k. Would it be stupid to build the team builder Burns? My decor lacks size big time, and aside from the 95 Headman, for context, I'm basically starting from scratch, and I have one of the 89s. That's it. 100%. Like, you're in the exact boat I would. That Brent Burns card is so good, and if you don't have a ton of options on your team, like you haven't played all year, I would definitely recommend it. It'd be nice if they kept the rosters up to date. This is a big issue. Take a look on the downloadable rosters, however, the community rosters. I believe it's Vasilevsky or Vazzy rosters. Unbelievable stuff. You can follow him on Twitter as well. I would follow him, or Tactics HD, for example. They both make great rosters that I would definitely recommend. Brandon says, hey, Sleeves, I just played you. I wanted to thank you for not spamming the L2 glitch and actually making it a fun game. You beat me 3-2, but dominated possession of GG. I appreciate it, man. I'm trying my best. when it comes to getting to Division One without doing what is required. And by that I mean like the L2 glitch, things like that. And I've talked about this for years now, that in sports games, not just NHL, any sport game, you hit a certain threshold of skill in game and it becomes more like the video game and less like the sport. And I'm trying my best because I know it's possible. I've seen people in my chat, friends of the community that I know, they don't do the L2 glitch and they're in Division 1. And, I'm trying to do that now. If you watch my latest No Money Spent video, I did make top 100 in Hut Champs, which is not something I'm super proud of because Hut Champs, unlike Rivals, gets far easier as the year goes on because all the top end players stop playing. So you just don't have those dominant players in the top 100, really. You have a few of them still left, like Sea Bruins or HK, for example, or Sasho and Sky's Taken off the top of my head. But last year, when the Game World Championship was a thing, you had 50 to 100 guys that were competing for, $20,000, and Hut Champs is kind of where they got, a lot of their practice in, and that was a bloodbath. Now, it's just not. Like, it's very easy. I had a very easy run. I got 16 wins, and it's so much harder to get into Division 1 than it is get top 100 in champs, which sounds crazy to say, but when you look at the overall leaderboard, there's like less than 500 people in the game that on PlayStation that have gotten to Division 1, which is crazy when you think about it. That few of the community has gotten to there. Maybe that just kind of goes to show that maybe it's too high of a threshold. But it is what it is, because it doesn't even offer that much of an advantage. A lot of people derank so that they can get the 30 wins done easier. But I appreciate you leaving this comment, man. I'm trying my best, but we'll see. I don't know why the math works like this, but I always earn every collectible possible, and I'm left with 4. After the playoffs are over, they should make a collectible equal set, maybe 85s, but at least give us something. Next year, I'm going to bang the drum that there needs to be something in the sets. If they don't want to allow us to make master set players after the events are done, which is clearly the case because they want to, their economy or their philosophy is like FOMO, like you only have 2 weeks to make these cards, so if you don't make them, you're screwed, right? Like they seem to want to operate on that, and sure, whatever, okay. Up until NHL 23, it wasn't like that, I think, or 22 and 23 and 24, I believe you could make the prior MSPs. Before that, we couldn't either. So anyways, regardless, but allow us to have sets that we could use the extra collectibles in, because it makes no sense why we're not allowed to use extras. What are we supposed to do with them? Just it's so dumb. So dumb. As sure as he says. I'm not getting something. If this 500 algorithm is really causing tilt, then how can it be possible to advance a division? Sleeves, you mentioned you're focusing on reaching Division 1. Wouldn't that be impossible if winning streaks are canceled out by the 50% algorithm? My brother, this is the battle. Like I mentioned, I've been around the game long enough in the community. I've been a good player, decent player. Again, Division 1 every year. Every year it's now, the last 3, it's taken longer to get there. But still. And I know what it takes in each game. Like, I could teach someone that has better thumb skill than me or quicker brain activity than me to be in Division 1. I'm confident in that because I can make almost any player a Division 2 player because of my strategies. And I've seen the testimonials of that. I've also been the voice of the GWCs, and a lot of my close friends that I've made over the years are some of the best players in the world. So, I've gotten to pick their brain, and I know I can point out every year the small things that you need to do to change and improve at the game. I use this example all the time, and I apologize if you're sick of hearing it. It is a lot like golf. Golf is a very mechanic-driven sport. It doesn't matter if you're an absolute jacked freak or if you're 6'2" and weigh $130. If your mechanics are amazing, you are going to hammer the ball. However, no matter how strong, weak, tall, short, whatever you are, if you go to the driving range and you have an awful swing and you hit 300 balls every single day, all you're going to do is slightly improve that garbage swing you have, okay? Until you actually change the mechanics of what you're doing, you will stay roughly the same. If you played 50 games a week, would you improve? Yes. Would you improve enough to advance the division? If you're right on the cusp, maybe. But you're really just going to stay within about 100-point range. And the only way you're going to break out of the tilt or algorithm is if you change something mechanically. So, for example, something that I'm doing is trying to exercise patience as much as possible in the offensive zone. And that sounds very vague, but essentially what I mean by that is I give an example in my latest No Money Spent video. If you want to go and watch it, I show exactly what I'm talking about because I go on a massive losing streak. And the reason why I started losing, I give examples of how I lost my patience, is holding onto the puck and trying to force plays, even just simply because I feel like I need to move. This is something that I see all the time from players that are so much better than me. They just hold on to it. How many times have you guys gone up against someone who is clearly not in the same division as you and they just never lose the puck? And it's not that they're not losing it, it's because they're not forcing things. They are just simply waiting. They can hold on to it and have the patience to just wait for you to do what they want you to do. And so many of us want to run around the zone and look for that forced one timer. And when that's not there, you kind of get a freak out and maybe you throw it on for a tip, which is a low percentage play in this game. Those are the things that, like, those are the mechanic based things. If you want to learn the L2 glitch, that would be something to get out of the spot you're in. Learning the things that will get you to the next division. If you're someone that's brand new to the game, you're in Division 6 or Division 5, learning how to aim low far side and coming across the slot, that will get you up a division. Like, those are the things you have to implement. It has to be a mechanical thing that you are going to do. That is how you break out of the algorithm. Now, where I'm at, because I refuse to do the L2 glitch, I have to be almost perfect defensively, and I have to really take my time. If I lose my patience, I need to stop playing. And it's hard because I stream, and that's kind of, it's what I'm streaming every day, right? Which is why I lost 100 points in a 48-hour span. Almost lost my mind because it took me 10 days to get 100 points up from where I was. And I could tell what was going on, that I needed to stop playing, but I couldn't because I was streaming. It was, it is what it is. But now looking back, I know in those tilts what to do. It's a very long answer. I apologize, but I've just restarted to play Hut after 7 to 8 years. I have a lot of fun playing, but I can't believe how dead the auction house is. Cards are either extremely overpriced or just extinct. This is a major issue because cards mean very little, meaning that you can, they don't release a ton. It used to be far more. They used to release thousands more cards up until last year, but they still release a lot. Okay, so like every 3 days you're getting 17 to 20 cards. That's 60 cards a week roughly. Over the course of a month, that's like another 300, and then there's big drops or whatever, right? The cards at the beginning of the year, like Team of the Week or Game Breakers or, Live Moments, all those random cards, you can't go back and make. And it's really frustrating because it's hard to pick them up. The one thing I would say is that this year, you can pull any card from any time frame. You can pull Frozen Forces cards or whatever that was in December. You can pull those you can pull 83s of those out of the 83 overall sets. But the problem is that the pack pool, like the cards, there's so many cards that the odds of pulling the one you want is very slim. And the only thing you can do is just kind of look every once in a while, right, to see if people are just selling them for the bare minimum, if you're looking to build a theme team. So that's kind of the frustrating part. And the good cards, those are very expensive. But if you wanted to just come back and build a decent team, it's never been easier. This game is so easy to build a usable team like that. And I think I'm going to put together a video. Let me know in the comment section if you would enjoy this. I'm actually going to start a new account, and I'm just going to get an MSP for free from the event by doing the objectives, and I'm going to dissect what they want us to do and how long it actually takes and the fastest way to do it, because I am curious, because a lot of us just say, I don't feel like doing the chores, I'm not doing the free card, I don't feel like losing all my collection for Mark Scheifele. But what if you wanted to? How long would it actually take you given the parameters that they have set? Again, it's not a good way to do it, but I'm just curious because the Team of the Week and Game Breaker objectives, those take like 30 minutes if you have a full lineup, and it costs like $40K to make a full lineup of Game Breaker or Team of the Week cards. Regarding the theme team comment, like you said, if they release enough cards, we could easily have both be viable options, theme teams and meta teams. The issue is not enough usable cards are getting released. We need more cards right below the very top. For example, if the best cards in the game are currently 9 overall, we should be getting a crap ton of 88 and 89 overall cards. 100%. And it's funny because if you go back a couple of years, you go back and look at my channel, look at any like random Tuesday content drop or Monday when we used to get Mondays. They would release so many cards, but 95% of them are unusable to 99% of the player base. And what's impressive this year is that the overall floor is much higher. Like every event, the lowest overall is like what you say, pretty close to what the master set. Like so, 95s are the MSPs. I think the lowest is a 90 overall that you can get in packs and whatnot. And in prior years, it was far lower, right? That being said, it's they need to find a way to make theme teams or event items. Like I envision this. Every master set player item, I just came up with this. Every master set player item from an event should work like a captain. So you get the master set Mark Scheifele. For every 5 um, double shaft, double shift, or I don't even know what it's called. Big shift. I think it's double shift. Stupid name. Event items that you have in your lineup for every 5, they go up +1 overall across the board. If you get a full lineup, you see what I'm saying here. Like it promotes using more of those cards. And this should work for every single team. So if you have a Mark Scheifele card, MSPs should also count as you can make them team captains for the team they are. So now you have a Winnipeg Jets captain. For every Winnipeg Jet player you have in your lineup, let's say you get 10 in your lineup, they go up +1. You get 15 in your lineup, they go up +3. You get an entire lineup of Winnipeg Jets, they go up +5. And because they don't release nearly as many cards as they used to, I'm sure there would be like an Edmonton Oilers team, or there's a team I'm not thinking of that has a billion cards that are all kind of higher overall. That would be 99s across the board, but they would be hard to get. It would make the price of those cards for those teams very expensive, and I think it'd be way more interesting. We need ways to develop more team building in this game, and it's so silly because of all the things to take from MLB is the captain boosts. And we used to have it. It was kind of a busted thing because all that ended up happening was you got +2 overall for having that card be a captain. That's stupid because everyone would just take Connor McDavid where the best card is and make it a captain and then whatever. It should be in MLB. They don't even have captains in real life. Like 2 teams have captains. It is not something that is common, okay? But they have captain cards, multiple of them for each team. It's like the NHL has captains. They mean stuff to some teams, not the Toronto Maple Leafs, for example, but they have captains. Make those boosts. Like, I don't care if you're ripping it off. God damn. Like, you had captain boosts in the game back in NHL 15, like that. Just make it. My personal favorites are Schneip and Make It Snappy. Make It Snappy this year just doesn't. I feel like the ways that you score in this game, the snapshot, it isn't as effective as the wrist shot. And in prior years, like the wrist shot didn't like. Remember when we did Hut Rush and it was like, hey, get score or shoot 50 wrist shots and no one could do it, and it was something in the game where the shot wasn't registering as a wrist shot, which then begs the question is every time we go and think we're doing a wrist shot in real life or in Rivals or whatever, that's why it's not going in. Right. And it was like, okay, it's hard to get a wrist shot off. You had to like perfect it. You had to go to 9 o'clock, pull it back to 8 o'clock, and then flick it up. And so it was like Schneip wasn't worth it. And then so it was like, so snappy is basically when you're doing a wrist shot. Anyways, I think that's why it was working so much. NHL 25, it feels like the wrist shot activates more and Make It Snappy shots. There's some for sure, but I just think that Schneip works better than Make It Snappy. Ace Sleeves, do you think the XP from collectibles will be possible to claim in the new season tomorrow? I saw that week 6 objectives are approximately 10 minutes before the end of the season. Any thoughts and recommendations? I don't know if I claim. So this is talking about, I apologize, this is a couple days old. So yeah, it was. If you're going to play, here's the thing with the XP path. So what he's talking about is you could do all of the weekly objectives, save them, don't turn them in, sit on the objective screen, wait for the new season to tick over, stay on the screen, then cash it in, and it would jump you. I think I jumped all the way to like tier 20. Some already have Jason Robertson, for example. Here's the thing. I actually think that is not a good thing to do. And here's the reason why. When you burn through the XP path, the packs and collectibles and things you get in there, they're not great. However, if you can delay them, when you open those packs, you've got a better shot at pulling higher overalls the later into the season you are. Not to mention, you have literally nothing to play for once you have burned through it. So while it does seem like an advantage, there's almost like a part of me that thinks it's like I'm not even like upset that it's still in the game, because it's like I actually liked when I would get packs throughout the majority of the season, as opposed to in 2 weeks or the last 3 weeks of the season, I legitimately wasn't getting any packs from the XP path, and it was just like, So interesting kind of back and forth there, but yeah, it did work, and it will work for the next one too. I hope they fix that. I get that people like being able to do that and skip ahead, but it's just dumb. And like I said, you're burning all of the cards that you would normally get, and I know that people don't want to have delayed gratification in a video game, but I promise it's kind of better. That's going to do it for this episode of Who Should You Choose. I'll be back again tomorrow, so a little bit of a late night episode. I'll have an earlier one up, so a lot of the comments that you get, I'm pretty much going to answer every single one. Thank you guys again for watching. We'll see you next episode. Have a good one.